back on the mound, and what did he do? He dominated the Oakland A's. Yeah, that's right. They're the lowly A's of Oakland. But Korey Lee, the rookie catcher, came in. His first multi-hit game. Had a commanding win and a great win today in Oakland to win the series before an off day and moving on few games with another West Coast team. So you need to check out this edition of Locked On Astros. We got some good things to talk about and some all-star accolades.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram, and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Hey, Astros fans, you're going to love this. Today's episode is brought to you by the Sports Card Investor app. Welcome to the world of trading cards reimagined. Stay tuned later in the show for more information on this awesome new tool for collectors. You're going to want to check out this new Sports Card Investor app. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros your first choice for listening to Astro stuff, whether it's on YouTube. Keep on subscribing to us and keep on listening to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check us out. And we're always going to have a lot of stuff. And we got a lot to talk about today. Korey Lee, Jake Odorizzi is back to being good Jake Odorizzi. Korey Lee got his first offensive breakout. And then we have some all-stars selections. And unfortunately, we have some bad news on Yordan Alvarez, but it's not as bad as it could be. Hopefully, that's what the rumors are. So we'll talk about this and more on this edition of Locked On Astros. So let's get started with today's game. I do want to kind of mention that I did talk about last week that when we're playing the Royals and all the Astros pitching were getting hit around, I did say on the last podcast, I was like, I think we all owe Jake Odorizzi apology because we were all like piling on him saying, you suck, get you out of rotation. And I know I was like, just give this guy a chance. He takes a little while to get back in his rotation. Even himself, he said that he was out of whack a little bit, his delivery, but dude, he came out and he did what he was supposed to do. He just had 7 shutout innings and he just looked like a totally different pitcher. 7 shutout innings from a guy that looked like he had no clue last time. This was a totally different pitcher. And this is the Jake Odorizzi that the Astros need to count on this year.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think anybody who reacted adversely to Odorizzi's last start just maybe doesn't watch a lot of baseball. Maybe they just started watching baseball in 2022 because Odorizzi, before he got injured, Eric, he wasn't steamrolling the league, but he was definitely in a groove. And this is his second game with rookie catcher Korey Lee. So Korey Lee, his impression of him in the first game that they pitched was this kid is a major league catcher. Like he calls the game, he's got confidence. And so when a pitcher can have confidence in a young catcher like Korey Lee, and when he got to work with them down there in Sugar Land when he was on his rehab stint, that says a lot about Korey Lee. You know who values Martin Maldonado? Korey Lee values Martin Maldonado. And Martin Maldonado is a valuable asset even when Korey Lee is at the plate. Because not only does he help the young catchers, he talks to the hitters about their at-bats. He talks to the hitters about what they missed or what they didn't do or what to watch for. So he's constantly coaching them. And Odorizzi and Korey Lee looked like they were in sync today. And Odorizzi's pitching motion, everything, he looked in sync. I mean, he induced 14 swings and misses today. And he threw, 98 pitches? Is that what it was?
98.
98 pitches and 67 were strikes. So he was the Jake Odorizzi that went onto the IL. And I think you're going to see more of this type of Odorizzi. And I think if you see this type of Odorizzi, it creates a good problem to have. when McCullers comes back, who are you going to put in the pen? I think Odorizzi has earned his spot. To me, it's looking more and more like Jose Urquidy, but I don't want to bury the lead. And I think the lead of this story of today is Korey Lee. Okay. Eric, let me give you some notes on Korey Lee. Korey Lee, when he was down in AAA Sugarland, he had double digit bombs. He was like 16 home runs, I believe, but his batting average was low. His slugging percentage wasn't great. He had a 28.7 or 28.9% strikeout rate. In his 9 at bats, I believe he has right now, he doesn't have a single strikeout. Now, that's a small sample size, but he got his first hit in the game where he gets his first multi hit game and his first 3-hit game. And he does it with confidence at the plate. And you just love to see that.
Yeah, I know Martin Maldonado, when asked who does he compare Korey Lee to, he said JT Realmuto. So that's a pretty high kind of reference there, because JT Realmuto is one of the great pitch catchers in the game. So that's a pretty good reference. It wasn't like he was saying, "Oh, I think he's a carbon copy of me." Astros fans will be like, "That'll be great on the defensive side, but we want a little bit more offense there." But granted, it's a small sample size, but Korey Lee is batting 375 with a 944 OPS. Very small sample size. Very, very
Hey,
small.
man, yeah, dude. Heck yeah, Korey Lee. Now, when he said the next JT Realmuto, he basically said, I'm not saying he's going to be that now, but he
Right.
said with
With time.
the speed, with his bat, with the power. Now, also his pop time has been very impressive. And the term pop time, if y'all don't know what that is, that's the pop of the ball in the mitt to the pop of the ball in the second baseman's glove when you're throwing to try to get a runner who is stealing a base, right? So his pop time, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but his pop time has always been impressive. He's always had a strong arm. That's been one of his key tools. So it was great to see Korey Lee come out. And like Johnny says, in his home California, Blummer and him both went to the same university. They're both University of California Bears. And so they have that in common. It's great to see Lee have a game like this because the Astros weren't really doing much offensively. Even though they were 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 2 of those hits was Korey Lee.
Yeah. And we're going to take it really slow. We're not expecting him to get 3 hits every day, but he needed this. He needed to basically, I don't use the word I want to use, but he had to break the seal and just get those 3 hits. And just so it wasn't just in his head, just to say, just so he didn't have that pressure on him to just say, okay, I need to get my first hit. I need to get my first hit. Because once he got that first hit, then he got 2 more hits after that. And I think there's not going to be that pressure on him to get the job done. And is he going to be a 300 hitter in the big leagues? Who knows? And he may be a 250 hitter. He may be a 225 hitter with a lot of pop. Who knows what he's going to be? But right now, he just needs to be a backup until whatever's going on with Jason Castro gets settled. But I don't know if the Astros are going to go out and I know it's still the beginning of July. I don't know if I doubt they're going to go out and get another catcher. Depends on what's going on with Castro there. But the Astros needed Korey Lee to come out and do what he did today because they didn't need all 6 of those runs, but it didn't hurt Jake Odorizzi, who pitched 7 innings, only allowed 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And then he had Matan come in and give up that solo home run in the game. But overall, Odorizzi, this was just a great game. Odorizzi needed this game. He needed not to suck again, just to have that. I'm pretty sure he's going to get another start before the All-Star break, but
Yeah.
he needed this. The Astros needed this. They needed innings to be eaten up by Odorizzi because I don't know what it was with the Royals, but they ate up our starting
Well,
pitchers.
the Royals are one of those teams that they do have good young talent. And believe it or not, they come to play and they're not there to lose. I mean, even if you're the Tigers or you're just one of these teams that's really at the bottom like Oakland, you don't come out to the ballpark to lose a game. You come out to win. Joe Odorizzi said, I felt like I was in command. I wasn't really getting fatigued. I felt like I was getting stronger as the game went on. Mixed pitches really well today, kind of used the whole arsenal a little bit better. And I thought Korey did a really, really good job behind the plate, sticking with me, executing the game plan. That comes from Martin Maldonado's tutelage. That comes from a kid being a student of the game. And Eric, with all my interactions with these players, since we've been talking to minor league players and talking to Stanek and talking to McCullers, is there is a culture in this clubhouse. There's a culture in this organization where there is a lot of time and effort put into understanding the strategy of pitching to each batter. This last week, Jimmy Endersby, who we interviewed, he got squeezed with two batters, and those two runs that scored ended up being the difference in the game. And he told me when an umpire squeezes you and when he's not calling strikes, he said when you get 2 balls and 1 strike versus 1 ball and 2 strikes, it totally changes the complexion of the game and the at bat. And he said when my plan has to change because the calls aren't being made, I then have to start sneaking in the zone, trying to find the cold areas where that hitter's not hitting, but I'm having to pitch to the batter rather than forcing the batter to come towards my pitches. And I mean, talking about, I love hearing Odorizzi compliment Lee because apparently Lee is truly the student of the game that they say he is.
All righty, guys. If you're struggling to get the energy and just the motivation to do stuff, why don't you try some AG1? Let's go and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so AG1 is this great supplement. It is so easy to take. I mean, it's not this box of pills that you have to take 75 different vitamins, or you don't have to put on like some subscription order to get your pill, your 90 filled bottle of vitamin C tablets. Go to AG1. It's one delicious scoop, and you're absorbing 75 quality vitamins, minerals, well food sourced, superfoods, probiotics, and antigens to help you start your day or night or whatever you're doing. It gives you energy. It gives me energy. It helps me recover. It helps me focus. It helps, heck, I'm aging. We're all aging. And this AG1, it will help you age the right way. That's right. It won't necessarily, it's not going to reverse the aging process. You're not going to become some spry 18-year-old, but you're going to feel better because you take it in the morning, you put the water in the mix in the little shaker bottle they give you. You shake it up and you drink it. And it's got this tropical taste to it. It's not like, it doesn't taste like wheatgrass. It doesn't taste like some weird smoothie made from exotic grasses. This is really good fruity flavor stuff, and I love it. What I love is the owner of AG1 actually did the research, was tired of his $100 a day habit for vitamins and supplements, and he found something that worked for him. I want you to try it because it works for me. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs on your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB Network. That's athleticgreens.com/MLB Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance today.
All right, Brett, I think it's time to let out the secret of our favorite place to go watch an Astros game.
Oh, that's right. Well, hey, do you and your buddies need a place to hang out and watch the Astros continue to dominate their competition? What about making Hooters of NASA your choice with great wings, brew, and fun to be had by all? TV's everywhere so you can watch the game or whatever sport you want to watch. Eric's favorite is the chicken tenders with teriyaki and curly fries. My personal favorite are the wings with the 3 Mile Island, buffalo sauce, and fries. What's your favorite? Come see what the Hoot is all about at Hooters. Come hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. Anytime the Astros play, you'll see and hear all the action because they love the Astros like you love your wings. Come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy owl, specials Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Don't forget about Thursday. It's Thursday with drink specials all day. Come hang out where the Locked On Astros boys like to hang out and watch the Astros with great grub and brews. Ask them what their featured beers are on tap. Tell them that the boys from Locked On Astros sent you. I-45 South, exit 528 for great wings and the best service from the world-famous Hooters girls. They are conveniently located near NASA Value Shopping Center and Baybrook Mall in Webster, Texas. Come see them for lunch, after work for dinner, or to celebrate an upcoming special occasion. That's 2796 Gulf Freeway, Hooters NASA. Tell them that Eric and Brett sent you.
Alrighty, so a lot of people want us to talk about some bad news that happened. The Astros won 2-3 versus the A's. We got some all-star news to talk about in a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, Yordan Alvarez is going to be hitting the IL for 10 days, and
Yeah.
apparently this is from injury that was back in June, and this is something that he's been dealing with for a while. And apparently it's nothing. It's nothing major. This is what Baker had to say. Yordan has been suffering with the injury for a couple of weeks, and it's gotten worse. We decided that, hey, the only way that this is going to get well is to use these series before the All-Star break to coincide with the 10 that he has to be on the IL. And it was bothering him with every swing. Hands are so important when you hit. So
You think?
basically, yeah. So
Thanks, Dusty.
basically, I saw another tweet. I forgot who it was, but they said that a source said that it's not anything major. They just want it to rest. So it's not anything to freak out about. Will it
Yeah,
affect his chance to possibly get MVP this year? Who knows?
I don't know. I honestly don't know that. I mean, I know the All Star and fan vote is totally different from writers, but I just you know these large market teams, these large market players like the New Yorks, the LAs, it's going to be hard to pry the pen out of their hand to not write a Yankee or an Angel in there for MVP. We just know that's almost inevitable. But Yordan Alvarez, they basically said that, like you said, this is not anything that's super major. They're hoping to have him back by the doubleheader versus the Yankees. I would think that means that he is a no-go for the All-Star game. That even if he
No
was
home run
invited
derby.
for
Yeah.
the no home run derby, which I'm honestly kind of glad he's not in the home run derby. I didn't want him in the home run derby. Now his swing isn't as violent or as just muscly as other home run hitters are that tend to get their timing thrown off because he swings so smoothly. He's got such an amazing bat path through the
Okay.
zone. I still just think that him being a part of the home run derby, Eric, would have not been to his benefit.
I found the tweet. It's from Ari Alexander. He's with
Okay, yes.
KPRC.
Yeah.
And he said
Yeah,
the
click to
source,
Houston.
yeah, he's on source on Alvarez. Hand is bugging him. Team wants to stay on the safe side, but nothing to worry about. Basically what I said. So
Yeah, exactly. So, here's the thing, Eric. Everybody's like, oh my God, why is Jordan not in the lineup? And someone's like, are they trading him? I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Like we really have got to get beyond this elementary understanding of baseball in the Houston Astros. No, that like the fact that was even had to be clarified. But something that did happen today, Eric. Take a little caveat, a little side note here. I was at the Space Cowboys game today,
okay.
and it was ridiculously hot. Okay, um,
Okay.
Forrest Whitley came into the game. He pitched 1 2/3 innings. All of a sudden, a coach comes up. Mickey Story comes up, the manager, the trainer. They start talking to him. He starts showing him like throwing a curveball or something. Walk him off the mound. One strikeout. Someone reported that he was touching 94, 95. The highest I saw was 93. Maybe I missed a few pitches on the clock.
Yeah.
But he was in control. When you go back and watch the video, he was grimacing a little bit, but it wasn't so much that you could notice it. Like on TV, they said you could tell. So I don't know if this is long term for him. I don't know. At first, I was like, well, hopefully it's the heat, right? Because literally, feels like 108 out there. It was ridiculous.
Well,
But
the team described it as right shoulder inflammation.
it's his shoulder. Okay.
Yes. So he was sitting around 94 and 95 in the first inning, but none none of his pitches in second inning reached 94 miles per hour. So his
Yeah.
velocity dropped, and the coaches noticed something. So they took him out. So I don't know if it's a long-term thing, but this is somebody that the Astros are counting on down the road. So they're going to be very cautious with him. But this would be another setback in what was supposed to be a promising career. So hopefully it's nothing major. I don't know if it can't be just a heat because they play in the heat all the time.
Well, here's the thing too, and this is something a friend of mine observes. He talks, he blogs about draft picks, about prospects, and he looks at mechanics and he looks at guys' lower halves, and he said it just doesn't look like Forrest Whitley really worked on his lower half while he's been recovering because he still is scrawny. I mean, if you look at all of our pitchers that are in the bigs, you look at all the pitchers that have something to them, they all have very strong lower halves. They you can tell that they work their legs. And Whitley is just still such a beanpole.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things. Hey, Credit Keys was at the game today. I was there as well. I wish I'd have known you were there. Maybe we could have met up, but it was so hot today. The Space Cowboys put on a great game. And talking about Space Cowboys, I've got a Space Cowboys Jake the Rake Myers bobblehead. We're going to announce the giveaway tomorrow night, what it's going to require. So you'll have to sign up for that, not tonight, tomorrow night. Get my ducks in a row, and we'll go from there. So you guys will have the opportunity, whether you're listening or watching, to win a Jake Myers, Jake the Rake bobblehead from the Sugarland Space Cowboys.
All righty. So I do want to, before we talk about All Stars, I do want to talk about Jose Siri, who was called up when Alvarez hit the IL. He's been crushing it. I know it's AAA pitching. I know you can't compare it to big league pitching, but in
No, he
10
has been.
games,
Yeah.
he batted 311 with a 1240 OPS, 6 home runs, 15
Ooh,
RBIs in 10 games, 12
wow.
RBIs. 12 runs, at 3 doubles, 2 triples. The dude was
Wow.
on fire.
Okay. So question, Eric. So I'm gonna throw you a question that I didn't tell you I was gonna ask before the show. If Jose Siri lights it up when he's in the game and he plays just balls to the wall, he's crushing it. Does he then become someone who they all of a sudden his trade value is really high? Or do they keep him, and does Chas McCormick become more trade bait because they want to keep the hotter, or maybe they value him? You know what I'm saying? What do you think happens? Jose Siri gets hot. Does that mean he's tradable, or does that mean all of a sudden McCormick's more expendable?
Expendable, I think that Siri and McCormick are more expendable. Trade worthy, Jake Myers is the more trade bait. He's the one that's going to get you more because I think he's more valuable. So I'm not saying the Astros want to trade him, but if you're going to try and trade to upgrade at center fielder, he would be the first person that they would ask for. Jose Siri was available for most teams, and a lot of people passed on him. Then if other stuff like that. So I just don't see that happening.
The question is, who does Dusty Baker like more? Or who does James Click like more? Because they tend to keep players they like and trade players they don't necessarily like. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So let's talk about All Stars. The Astros have 5 All Stars, and I want to have a conversation with you about Justin Verlander. But we all know that Jose Altuve was selected to the All Star team. Today, it was announced that Framber Valdez was selected by the commissioner to join the All Star team, and then also you have Alvarez, of course. Then you have Justin Verlander. And then you have Kyle Tucker added to the All-Star roster as well. And so that's the Astros have 5 players on the All-Star roster. That is freaking awesome. And you know what? It's if you're not investing in your sports cards, you need to start doing this because this Astros is fully loaded right now.
No, yeah, definitely. And we're talking about Sports Card Investor. If you're watching, you'll be able to see this. Today at the game, I got Pete Solomon to sign his first Bowman card, and he told me he's going to come back on the show soon. I got Hunter Brown to sign his Space Cowboys card, and then I got Brett Canine and Pedro Leon. So here's the thing. Some of these are minor league cards, some of these are major league cards. but Sports Card Investor, they have over 360,000 cards that you can look up. You can look up not just sports cards, any trading cards, wrestling, Marvel, comics, whatever you want to look up, they have right there. It's an app. It's an easy app to upload on your phone. The Sports Card Investor World, this is the most powerful source that you can use. You can check daily values. You can see whether someone's value is rising or lowering. If you still have faith in Forrest Whitley, maybe you buy him low right now, and then if he does something, you make a good return. Buy low, sell high kind of thing. It is available and it's completely free on Google Play, Apple App Stores. The Sports Card Investor app is a must-have for all baseball fans. Even if you're not into baseball cards, I have friends that aren't into baseball cards, and all the time I'll randomly just give them some cards. It's fun. It brings back the nostalgia. If you grew up collecting cards, it's fun. So make sure that you check out Sports Card Investor today. It's completely free. Browse 630,000 cards. Download the Sports Card Investor app today at any Google or Apple Play Store. Go to sportscardinvestor.com/locked on.
Okay, so Framber Valdez is making his first All Star team. You have Kyle Tucker and Alvarez also making his first All Star team. So this is pretty cool. But you also have Altuve and Verlander are 8 and 9 respectively. So Altuve was voted in by the fans, and then the rest of them were voted in by either the players or the commissioner's office in case of Valdez. So Valdez, I think, it's pretty awesome. He was kind of he's kind of made a late run to kind of get to where he is. But I think that Verlander said that in the past he may not have been as appreciative, but I guess taking a year off or 2 years off, or not 2 years off, but he wasn't off. But with the injury, he kind of has a new respect for what it means to be all-star. And I know that we're having a conversation off air about should he even pitch, because if you look at the Astros probabilities versus the Angels, you have Luis Garcia on Tuesday, Christian Javier on Wednesday, Framber Valdez on Thursday, meaning that Justin Verlander will get about 7 days of rest in between starts again. He'll pitch on the 15th of July, meaning if he pitches an all-star game, he's going to pitch on 4 days of rest. So I don't know. What do you think? Is he going to pitch in the All-Star game? I'm going to say no.
Well, I mean, if you put it that way, it's obvious that you probably wouldn't have him pitch, but why not? It's only one inning. I say let him pitch. I mean, it's one inning, right? I mean, look, if he gets to 20 pitches, throw in Shohei Ohtani. I don't care. Like, ruin that guy's arm. I'm joking. But, Justin Verlander, I think he deserves a nod. I think if he feels fine, I think if it wasn't the day before and he didn't grind 90 or 100 pitches, then you let the guy pitch. But that has to be a decision that if they're pushing him back, are they pushing him back for this reason so he isn't a factor in the game? The fact that he's elected to the All-Star game, he has the accolade, okay? People aren't going to necessarily go back and say in this All-Star game, did he get 3 strikeouts? They're not necessarily going to do that. They'll
Right.
do that with someone more like Cole or someone else who got there. And we're not going to go into it tonight, but I feel like there were a couple guys that got snubbed off the All-Star team that didn't make it for the Houston Astros. But I think JV should start just because of the year he's having, just because of how well he's done. But if it is him starting the day after, and we had that stupid doubleheader right after the
Right.
All-Star break because of the shortened season, then you want him fresh for that. So I would be more no. But to counter your point, yes, start Justin Verlander. He's a freaking android. He's a robot. He's the master.
I mean, if it's going to be a bullpen day, I guess so, but I just don't see you doing that. You need him for that Yankees doubleheader. I just don't see them doing that, and especially with Dusty Baker out there. I know Baker won his boy out there at the same time, but
Well, right. But you and I both know that they're probably going to go with more like what you said and be more cautious. It doesn't make any sense to throw him off in his routine for an exhibition
it's yeah.
game just to now I would love for Yordan to not be hurt, and I would love for Springer to lead off, Jose Altuve to hit second, Yordan Alvarez to hit fourth, Justin Verlander to start. And just all these Astros just raining down on Dodger Stadium. I mean, Yordan Alvarez, it's so criminal that he's not there because the Dodgers are the team that handed him to us in a box wrapped with success. This amazing all-world hitter is not going to be there to rub it in the face of the Dodgers fans. Gosh, it's so frustrating.
And Patricia says that as a closet Altuve fan, it's amazing that the fans voted him in with all the boos he receives. This is not just from Yankee Stadium. This is across baseball. Just imagine people across the league voted for a guy that they consistently boo at. So that means there's a lot more people out there that likes him. So with that being said, Altuve, he deserved to be there. Alvarez, he deserved to be there. But Tucker was kind of the surprise, not because of the year he's having. He deserved to be there. I'm just surprised that people outside of Houston recognize the season he's having. And this is also from the Astros. The 27 All-Star selections for the Astros since 2017 are the most from any other club in that span, according to Elias. Entering this season, the Dodgers were second with 19 selections. The Astros franchise record for All-Stars in one season is 6. That happened in 2017 and 2018. So the Astros have consistently recently had a lot of All-Stars, and they've been doing it again. So, yeah, we can talk more about the All-Stars, but this game was just a really good game. Odorizzi needed this game.
He did. I agree. But, hats off to Odorizzi. Hats off to Korey Lee. Great job, kid. Keep grinding in the major leagues. I'm so happy for this kid's future.
And don't forget that after the All-Star break, you're going to have the doubleheader versus the Yankees, but you're going to play 7 of the next 10 games against the Mariners. So the Mariners have been winning a lot of games recently. So that's going to – I know the Astros have a really big lead, but the Mariners –
The Mariners have been playing really bad teams too. Let's not forget that.
Well, I know. So have we outside of the Yankees and the Mets.
Yeah, but we went 7-2 against New York. We're good. Yeah. We're golden.
I know. So I'm not too worried about that, but I'm more worried. I just hope that Alvarez is okay. I'm curious to see who they replace him with, but there's a lot of snubs out there outside of Houston that should have made the All-Star team, and I'm sure they'll find a replacement for Alvarez, and he should have been selected over Ohtani. We can save that discussion for tomorrow. But
we will.
All right, so that's all we got for this edition. We have an off day. Tomorrow we'll talk about the next series, the Angel series, and then we'll kind of preview all that. But that's you got anything else, Brett?
No, man. We will hit heavy the All-Stars, the All-Star snubs, not just from the Astros, but from around the league. So stay tuned to us, and don't forget to check out our interviews with Blum, with Stanek, with just anybody that you can think of in the Astros minor league system. We got it on there. Go to player interviews on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. Remember, we're your team every day.
All right. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me at Eric Talkstros. That's Brett Chancey. You can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse. We are the Locked On Astros, and you can find us every day. Make us your first listen, and go Stros.